Hello everyone, this is StrawberryShorty here with a new Genius Limited Inc. game, The Curse of Death's Kiss. Forced to live without love, can you break the curse of death? So, this game kind of caught my notice on the App Store. First, you can see it's clearly you're dating guys instead of girls, but the description makes it sound a lot like Code Realize. So, I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be a ripoff. We're getting a scene. Jack. James. Andrew. Looks so friendly. I'm just hoping none of the guys are jerks, because that's the thing a lot of these types of games tend to have when you're playing as a girl. A vicious storm rages outside. We can't hear it, though. I tiptoe downstairs, seeking a glass of water. Without Mother here, this old mansion is a little daunting at night. When will she be back from court? I hope it's soon. Oh yeah, I think this takes place in the Victorian era. I finally reach the kitchen and pour myself a glass of water. As I walk back toward the stairs, a sudden noise makes me start. Maybe it was a branch falling in the yard, or a scared animal. Still, I'd better go take a look. I'll adjust the volume really quick, because otherwise this is going to drown me out real fast. There. I set down the glass on a nearby sideboard and take up a candle. I feel like we should have taken up a candle a long time ago. Making my way down the hall, my hands start trembling. When I reach the end, there's broken glass strewn beneath a shattered window. Sodden footprints mar the floor, leading off toward the library. Definitely not a tree branch or a scared animal. Plucking up my courage, I decide to press on. I'd be going for the police. Or a servant or somebody. As cautiously as possible, I push the door to the library aside. The dim light of my candle reveals a figure hunched in silhouette. Hello? My gosh, why are we telling the bad guy we're here? My heart hammers wildly as the figure straightens. Oh my gosh, this is so loud. Oh, you must be Shorty. Oh, look at the effort they put into this sprite, making his shirt wet. How do you know who I am? The intruder walks over, eyeing on the doorway cautiously. As I step aside, I notice that his clothes are dripping wet. He's handsome, with quite the physique as well, but I doubt his intentions are so becoming. How do you know me? You're standing there polite. How could I not? I should probably give him a voice, but I'm terrible with the boy voices. Your family is well known all in these parts. Who are you, and what do you want? Let's say I'm in the business of redistributing wealth. So you're a thief. Such a nasty word. Perhaps you could help me. I'm looking for a certain tiara and a very fine pocket watch. They should fetch a pretty penny indeed. How do you even know we have such things? A consummate professional like me always does his research. So this isn't just a random act of desperation. Can you turn your theme music down, sir? The intruder doesn't respond. I follow him as he steals down the hallway. He continues searching, pausing to turn over vases and stroke the picture frames. Then he draws up, running his fingers alongside the edge of one particular painting. Interesting. All these family portraits, and yet you don't seem to be in any of them. I don't like having to pose, and they always make my face too round. I'm not about to share the truth with some petty thief. The intruder studies the portrait more intently. You know, I'd almost say this one had been painted over. As if, I think it's about time for you to leave. It was time for him to leave like several moments ago. He has no indication that my words have even registered. As he continues up the stairs, I follow him, wincing at every creak of the floorboards. Who knows what he might do if suddenly confronted? So eager for me to leave, and yet you haven't once tried to stop me. Well, I'm not exactly used to this. Clearly. Most people would have called for help by now. I would have called for help before I went after you. Which begs the question, where is everyone? I prefer to resolve situations on my own, thank you. Don't tell me she's alone here. For that, I'm very much obliged. I'll just find what I'm looking for and be on my way then. That's not what I... There's my gun. He enters one of the guest rooms and begins to scour the bookcase. Meager expectations, sense and insensibility. Not the most refined taste in literature. So you're a critic now, too? There has to be a switch here somewhere. It's practically guaranteed. What switch? What are you... He turns to me with a scowl. Come now. You aristocratic types always have a vault of some sort concealed somewhere. Where do you get your ideas? Two-penny adventure novels? He flicks a book onto the floor. I've been in this business quite a while. I kind of feel like I should have given this voice to the black-haired guy. I've seen some very creative ways of hiding valuables. Such as? Why, there was one man who kept everything at the bottom of his private lake. Retrieving that was no small task, let me tell you. Then there was the Countess whose fortune was hidden at the center of a maze. So not just a thief and a critic, but a fantasist as well, I see. I'm not the only one being coy with the truth here, I assure you. How bold, accusing me of being deceptive. Bolder than conversing with a thief by candlelight. You certainly don't lack courage, I'll give you that. He goes into the bathroom, rummaging around the cabinets. Why does our bathroom look so hideous? It's like a dungeon. All I can do is follow behind, protesting as he carries on. We'll nag him to death. Hey, stop it! Those are my private things! You won't find anything of value in there anyway. He stops to sniff a bottle of perfume, wrinkling his nose. Well, where is it then? Care to clue me in? I honestly don't know what you hope to find. And even if I did, I wouldn't know where to look. Well, he told you what he's looking for. You don't fool me. I know there's some secret here just waiting to be uncovered. With a wolfish grin, he darts off again to another room. I follow quickly after, aghast to see him entering my room. No, please don't go in here. There's nothing of importance, I promise. Oh, we got soft music now. So this is your chamber, is it? It looks more like a child's room, to be perfectly frank. Those are my interests. I'll thank you not to shame, Mr. Thief. I blanch with embarrassment, and the truth of his words hits home. It's fair to say that my part of the house has been neglected somewhat. Before I know it, he opens my wardrobe, starts rifling through my clothes. Creep. A little outdated for a lady of your status, aren't they? What should I say? You're about to encounter your first choice. It's up to you how to respond. I'm not really into fashion, or we simply can't afford it. I'll say we're not into fashion because this does not look like a place with money problems. Some of us aren't concerned with trends, you know. Why should I let someone else dictate what I wear? You're at odds with the rest of the nobility in that case. Tell me, how do you dispense with your great fortune, then? Poetry and literature, not that it's any of your business. I'd rather expand my mind than waste money on material things. Well, that's certainly different. Even so, I can't help but think that wealth would be better spent elsewhere. Perhaps you're right, but that's out of my hands. Approaching the nightstand, he picks up my jewelry box. It is a really weird-looking jewelry box. It's very Japanese. When it doesn't hold what he's looking for, he tosses it aside. I gasp, kneeling on the floor together with the broken pieces. What a jerk. Hey, that was a gift. How dare you break my things? Oh, and what are you going to do about it exactly? Take him out! As anger wells up inside me, I reach out toward a pair of sewing scissors. Locking eyes, I level them toward him and he pauses. I can only hope he doesn't see through this bluff. I'm finished indulging you. Get out of my house, now. To my surprise, he almost seems to approve. That's it. Put some color into those cheeks. But we both know you haven't got it in you. I've killed people. I'm pretty sure I have. As my hands begin to tremble, he studies me carefully. I expected his gaze to be dispassionate, even cold. But there's a kind of warmth there, almost sympathy. I think he's mocking me. I glance aside, suddenly growing uncomfortable. Don't take your eyes off him! There's more to you than first appears. Unusual for one so young to carry such pain. Why, I haven't seen the like since... He trails off, shaking his head. You must be the daughter they closeted away, is that right? How do you know about that? He shrugs, glancing away distractedly. The mere whiff of a scandal always gives rise to such rumors. I must admit, I was somewhat curious to see if they were true. And what do they say, these rumors? Oh, you know how easily the truth gets distorted. According to some, there was a hideous creature living here, a twisted abomination that stalks the hallways at night. At least I can confirm they were somewhat exaggerated. So what's the truth? Why did they lock you away? It's a long story. I lower my gaze to the floor. They said I'm better off alone. Your parents, you mean? Yes. When I glance up, I find his expression softening. That's the one thing I can stand least of all. The look of pity, like a twisting of the knife in my belly. You don't have any friends? You don't have any friends? No one you might contact on the outside? How should I respond? Lie about it, tell the truth. Might as well tell the truth. As his words hit home, I feel tears welling in my eyes. No, the only interaction I have was with the servants. Where are the servants? Otherwise, I'm all alone here. He furrows his brow. Not even a pen pal? Shake my head. Mother thinks it's best not to get my hopes up. That's not right. You should be allowed to make those decisions for yourself. She's only looking out for me. You're very much abused here, Shorty. Even if you refuse to see it. Did I tell you my name? You're little more than a prisoner in a gilded cage. No, it's not like that. It's for my own good. I'm sure that's what they say. I know that I must appear the least trustworthy person in the world right now. But I promise you this, if you ask for it, I will help you. You broke my jewelry box. The thief reaches out, meaning to grasp my shoulder. No, he mustn't lay a finger on me. Don't! I scramble backward, trying desperately to get away. He stops mid-stride with a puzzled look on his face. When I speak again, it's in a strangled whisper. Don't touch me. I beg you. His voice is low now, almost soothing. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. He breaks off, cocking his head. Then I hear muffled footsteps. It seems someone has finally stirred. Time for me to take my leave. There's no one else here but Andrew. Oh, Andrew is another character. That's one of the dudes from the beginning. I think it was the black-haired one. Is he a butler? But he doesn't need to know that. The intruder turns, making for the door. Oh, no, you don't. I'm not letting you get away that easily. You broke my jewelry box. I demand you pay for it. Before I know it, he's darting back down the stairs. It takes all of my effort to keep up, but somehow I manage. He broke into my home, stuck his nose into my personal affairs. I don't know what I can do to stop him, but he can't just get away. He goes left, then right, back through the hallways that led him here. We could scream, but not thinking of that. Then, as he melts the broken window frame, he offers me his hand. Come with me, away from all this silence and solitude. What, so I can just be another stolen trinket? It isn't about what I could take, but what I can give you. Freedom, Shorty. And where would we go? Anywhere you want. I wouldn't know where to start. I've never even passed the front gate. Well, there's no time like the present. Leave this moldering tomb and see the wider world. I'd be in such trouble when they found out. Sometimes those are the only things worth doing. You've been locked away in here for far too long. You deserve to lead your own life on your own terms. At least promise me you'll think it over. With that, he vaults through the window and disappears. Finding myself alone, his words resonate through my mind. He's right. I've long hoped for a chance like this. An opportunity to explore the world and find out who I really am, for better or worse. Of course there will be dangers, but maybe I should take the risk. The sound of footsteps echoing behind me breaks the reverie. Oh my gosh. It reminds me of Hubert from Fire Emblem Three Houses. I believe he's killed people. Then Andrew, my personal butler, appears in the hallway. Miss Shorty, are you all right? I heard you scream and... What happened to this window? Are you hurt? I'm fine, Andrew. There was a burglar, but rather than stealing from us, he actually came with an offer. Wow, we're trusting him with this? An offer, Miss Shorty? He offered me freedom, and I mean to accept. Wow. See, you should maybe not tell him this. But Miss Shorty, you know the rules. You're not to leave this house. It would be disastrous both for yourself and others. That may be, but I want to know what's wrong with me, and this might be my only chance. You can't just make off with a stranger. Who knows what his intentions are? Perhaps, but he had me at his mercy from start to finish. Surely if he meant me harm, he would have done it already. Yeah, but it'd be easier to do you harm once you've left with him, theoretically. It's not my place to doubt you, but you've never left these walls before. You have no knowledge of the outside world. You're right. Andrew sighs, entreating me from the back from the window. That's why you're going to come with me. No, Miss Shorty. It's no use, Andrew. My mind is made up. There's nothing you can say that will dissuade me. Of course, I will tend to you wherever that may lead, But I warn you, the outside world can be a rotten place. I know that better than most. Who hurt you, Andrew? Please, do not pit my loyalty to you against your mother's orders. Don't worry, Andrew. I'll testify on your behalf if it comes to that. I forced him at knife point. I see him struggling to reconcile his heart, and then he finally nods. Well, I suppose we'd better go prepare then. I'm glad they didn't give me a choice there to go with the thief or not, because personally I wouldn't want to go with him then. I'd want to pack a bag. Plus, I believe, judging by the reviews of this game, that, like, Time Only knows, it does have, like, the choices do have some degree of consequence. Like, you can lock yourself out of, like, a good ending. And I feel like the good ending would have been to go with the thief, so. Confident that he won't back down now, I follow him upstairs. As we enter my bedroom, he stands with his mouth agape. What happened here? Everything is in disarray. It seems that burglar was after something very particular, but don't worry, he didn't find it. He broke your jewelry box. Andrew gently gathers the pieces and sets them on my dresser. Are you really sure you want to follow this man? Should I say, I'm not afraid of him, or I crave adventure? I crave adventure, I'm not afraid of him. I'll say I crave adventure. Of course there are unknowns, Andrew. That's the whole point of having an adventure. Andrew furrows his brow in disapproval. This isn't like one of your books, Shorty. You'll be far from home with only strangers to rely on. You say that as if it was a bad thing. Well, our character is naive. I think you'll regret saying that if you fall ill. My constitution is more robust than you think. All right, but don't say I didn't warn you. As we begin to pack, my lack of worldliness begins to show. Fortunately, Andrew takes care of the necessities. A change of clothes, a small knife, some medical supplies, and my journal. Stopping by the kitchen, we take enough meager rations to sustain us for several days. Here's the storm. As we open the front door and cross the threshold, it's with a sense of finality. The sharp click of the key in the lock as Andrew closes up only punctuates it further. I stare off into the darkness, filled with both trepidation and excitement. Hey, you got a cloak on! I like it, it's snazzy. You ready then, Miss Shorty? I give a resolute nod. I suppose your friend won't have strayed too far. Come on, the nearest inn is still a few hours' walk from here. It's a run-down, sordid kind of place, so I've no doubt we'll find him there. Really? Do you think we'll see a brawl? Or maybe meet a pirate? I sincerely hope not, for your sake. I've seen enough bar fights in my time to know their ugly spectacles. I want to know more about Andrew. You have? You may be eager to leave your cloistered youth behind, but some of us had childhoods that made us yearn for such comfort. Perhaps you wouldn't know it to look at me now, though. How should I respond? We're putting him through so much. The choices you make will influence your relationship with Andrew. If you want the best ending, make sure to spend as much time together as you can. Tell him I'm reassured. Tell him it still shows. I'll tell him I'm reassured? Look, a heart appeared. That's a good sign, right? Oh, I don't know. You look like you could still hold your own in a cause. All you have to do is lose the stiff collar. Andrew chuckles. I'll try to take that as a compliment, miss. I'm glad we didn't offend him. I feel bad. He seems sad. But it's true. I've pulled enough quarreling drunks apart over the years. It's not a phase of my life I'm eager to revisit. Honestly, I much prefer being your butler. Me too, Andrew. Either way, I'm glad you're here for me. Maybe this excursion will do you good after all. You'll soon find that the world isn't like it is in your stories. I'm just happy I get to see the world at all. It seems like an eternity since I even went outdoors. There's a spring to my step as we continue along. For the first time ever, I feel truly free. The world is so vast, I can do whatever I... Get off the road, quickly! Look, shadow horses in her shadow carriage! How advanced! Ahead, I spot a carriage flanked by several men on horseback. We dash up to the side, hoping they don't notice us. You there, hold up! Stop in the name of the king! We stop almost mid-stride as the carriage comes to a halt. Oh, it's the other one. James? Then the door opens and a man steps out. His dress is the most opulent I've ever seen. He looks like he'll be arrogant. You are Lady Shorty, are you not? I feel like I should give him a different voice. Lady Shorty, are you not? That depends who's asking. Surely you recognize me. Prince James, heir apparent. Oh, Prince. Fancy. And you're the very person I came here seeking. Me? But why? He flashes me a dazzling yet strangely hollow smile. You were to be my bride. What? Well, that's a twist. Not a bad start. All the guys look nice. They're interesting. Okay, everyone. Who do you like the most so far? I'm with Andrew so far. The thief broke my jewelry box. I'm a little bitter. But I still want to know why this guy thinks we're his bride. Because I read the synopsis of the story, so... The synopsis on the Google Play page, so I know a little bit more than some of you do, and I won't spoil it. It's not a spoiler, it's the setup of the thing, but... Married to the Mafia. You just agree to marry a total stranger, and your new fiancé happens to be a dangerously wealthy mob boss. I don't know if I'm going to play that one, because the mob ones I'm always wary of. I stand there for a moment, dumbfounded. Did he just say he intends to marry me? What? I know. It sounds too good to be true. I'm still too stunned to think coherently. Now that I've found you, let's go back to the palace together. His voice keeps changing. Andrew steps forward, placing himself between us. I can't allow that. Oh, and who might you be? He eyes Andrew with disdain. Miss Shorty's servant and chaperone, and I won't let you take her. You would deny her a life of wealth and splendor beyond reckoning? I would protect her, just as I've been engaged to do. The guards level their halberds as the prince gives a long sigh. Very well. You leave me no choice. Seize them! Oh, he's trying to take us by force! He's an enemy! One of the guards grapples with Andrew while another advances towards me. Don't come any closer! Easy, I don't want to hurt you. I think I'm going to hurt him. Just come quietly and... I suddenly break into a sprint. I imagine we're not much of a runner. Come back here, you brat! After a few frantic paces, I spot a familiar figure approaching. Just the man I've been looking for. Need a hand? How should I respond? Cry for help or play it down? I'm going crying for help. Yes, help me! All right, get behind me. No heart, so maybe he would have preferred the other answer. I do as he bids. How did you know where to find us? I mean, we walked a step. I have a sense for when fools are in over their heads. How'd you get mixed up in all of this anyway? Well, should be said, like, the prince wants to marry me, apparently. Just then, the thief dodges a swing from the guard. All right, tell me later. Well, look what just crawled out of the sewer. As the thief engages the guard, another one closes on me. No, get away! Before I know it, he grasps me by the arm. Yep. This really is kind of like what happened at the beginning of Code Realize, only slightly... The people trying to capture us there were significantly more pleasant. We both freeze, and then he drops to the ground. No! James claps a hand over his mouth in shock. Stand down, all of you. The remaining guards do as he commands. All eyes are fixated on the lifeless body now. How is that possible? How are you engaged to me and you don't know about this? He died the very instant he touched you. Like, wouldn't you naturally think it was like a heart attack or something? It takes some time for the poison darts to take effect. I'm a boy, Andrew! Anyone who dares manhandle Shorty will suffer the same fate. You're willing to commit murder to protect her? Well, I've come too far to leave empty-handed. Then we have a stalemate. And who exactly are you? Call me Jack. I promise you, Shorty isn't going anywhere with you. She fix each other with a steely glare. Very well. I suppose you just took me hostage. What? As you say, the lady isn't to come with me, and I tell you I shall not leave without her. Therefore my only recourse is to go with you. What does this guy want with us? The prince turns towards his retinue. Your Highness, do you think that's wise? I can handle myself for a while. Convey this unfortunate man to his family, and spread word about what's happened here. After some hesitation, the guards grudgingly follow his orders. Once they're out of earshot, Jack addresses us insistently. Come, there's a hamlet not far from here. We can find shelter there until morning. He beckons us on and we begin to walk. It's not too rustic, I hope. All I ask is some hot food and a dry pillow. There's no want of either in the capital, I assure you. Indeed, your mother is enjoying our hospitality there right now. This makes it sound like they're holding a prisoner. I should thank you for that. It makes my line of work that much easier, you know. Are you two nothing but a pair of foxes greedily eyeing the hen house? Fortunately, her ladyship saw fit to leave this hound to stand guard. I want to see Andrew beating some people up. A while later, we reached the outskirts of the town. My, what a charming place! The look Jack flashes me suggests otherwise. Keep your voice down, will you? We proceed through the winding streets until we reach a decrepit building. Andrew regards the sign of the door with skepticism. The rampant unicorn. The rampant unicorn. Before he can object, Jack pushes the door aside. The barmaid eyes us warily as we enter. What a squalid little hovel. I shan't stay here, I tell you. You're welcome to leave, Your Highness. Fine by me. James turns to me with a final entreaty. Surely you don't want to stay here, Shorty. I shrug, drawing pleasure from his discomfort. I wanted an adventure and I'm getting one. I would be questioning this dude a lot more. Jack is busily securing lodgings for the night by now. Soon the landlady leads us upstairs to our rooms. Miss Shorty and I will take the first room and... What, you'd leave me with this ruffian? I mean, you're kind of a ruffian yourself. Perhaps Your Highness would prefer to sleep outside? I can see little difference given the state of these premises. As Shorty's betrothed, it is only right that we should share a room. Wow. I don't recall her ever accepting your proposal. He didn't even propose. He basically tried to abduct me. And don't think I haven't heard of your exploits, Prince. What exactly are you implying, manservant? As they continue bickering, Jack leans over to me. Might I have a word? I nod and we retreat down the hall. I need to know what really happened back there. What do you mean? The guard didn't die from any poisoned dart. What are you saying? Your butler was covering for you. That man died the very second he made contact. I struggle to think of an excuse as my mouth works to no avail. He probably won't believe me either way. You're right. You wondered why I was kept in that mansion? It's because I can't touch a living soul lest they die. His eyes narrow as he studies my face intently. I would kind of like more information on this, because this is the deal with the protagonist of Code Realize, in that her body emits like a poison, and if people touch her bare skin, they will, it's like an acidic effect. But, what's the deal here with this girl? Because, if it was just skin-to-skin contact, you'd think she'd wear protective clothing, plus it was raining, so is it just anyone touches her no matter what, they die? Because I can't see that working, because otherwise none of these guys would be able to touch us until we're cured. Of course. Who would credit such a thing? How long has this been the case? Since I was a small child. To my surprise, he nods slowly. I'm sorry to hear that. Perhaps there's someone I know who might help. Oh, if there's even the slimmest of chances, I'll take it. They're a little hard to get to, but it'll certainly be the adventure you've long craved. Thank you, Jack. He dismisses me with a hand wave. We'll set out at dawn. I flash him a smile before turning back toward Andrew and the prince. If you two can't work this out, none of us are going to sleep. I would think a word from you would settle it soon enough. He's right, miss. Tell him how it's going to be. The two of them stare at me expectantly. What should I do? About to make your first premium choice. Some choices cost rubies. These let you access exclusive scenes and improve your relationship with your love interest. Ask Jack to guard me or rely on Andrew. What would we ask Jack to guard? I love how the prince is not even an option. Well, I'm relying on Andrew. Look, Jack is not as bad as we thought, but I like Andrew. Come on, Andrew. I've had quite enough of rogues and princes for one night. Well, we didn't need to say the mean comment about the rogue. Andrew draws out to me with a nod and we retire to our room. Setting down our things, he lays my nightgown out on the bed. Then he turns to face the wall obediently as I change. Miss Shorty, what was Jack talking to you about? I pause, making a final adjustment. He sighed through your bluff with what happened to the guard. After I confessed the truth, he suggested taking me to see someone who might help. I see. Just be careful, all right? We still don't know what his true interest in you may be. I mean, he doesn't really seem to have much of an interest. It's that prince we gotta worry about. You're right, but I'm not in a position to refuse his aid. Do not mistake me, miss. I truly hope he can help. It's been far too long since I've seen you smile. As I crawl into bed, he settles down into a musty armchair. There's another bed here. This adventure has delivered so much already. I can only wonder what lies in store tomorrow. Jack's got a coat now. After a hurried breakfast, Jack leads us off into the woods. It's not long before the prince is complaining incessantly. It's too hot. And these interminable insects are everywhere. Isn't this all your domain, your highness? Simply order them to hold off. Come, Lady Shorty. Surely you find this as miserable as I do. How should I respond? Choices you make will influence your relationship with James. If you want the best ending, make sure to spend as much time together as you can. Agree with him, contradict him. I'll agree with him because I don't like bugs. They do paint a rosier picture in the stories. And I could certainly do without the mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. Right on cue, I swat one of the pests. I knew you'd share my sense of refinement. Once you're my bride, you'll never have to deal with such things again. We mustn't let nature mar a rare beauty such as yourself. Well, I wouldn't like to forsake the outdoors entirely. Then the palace gardens will be entirely at your disposal. You should see them in the summertime when... As he breaks off, I follow his gaze to find a young woman hurrying our way. Help me, please. What ails you? Our party is lost and my friend injured. Where are you going? Willowdale. We're headed that way too. Why don't you travel with us? My friends and I will see to your injured companion. The prince scoffs. We don't have time for this. Your subjects are in need, your highness. Surely someone else will come before long. It pains me to say it, but I'm anxious to press on too. We can offer some medical supplies, but that's all. At least one of us has some common sense. You'll find no shortage of cruelty in your kingdom, that's for sure. Better to be cruel than caught by a cutthroat in disguise. I mean, I'll admit my instinct was that we should not trust them. But it's okay, we have a cutthroat, so we're fine. You must admit this does seem rather suspicious. Just what I'd expect from those born with a silver spoon in their mouth. We don't know anything about where Andrew was born. And technically I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I'll have you know. Stop this, all of you. As they fall silent, all eyes turn to me. We should treat a fellow traveler as we would wish to be treated. I think we can afford to spare a little kindness here. The prince lets out a long sigh. If we must, I suppose. Please, come quickly. My friend is this way. The woman leads us to a small clearing not too far away. I thought we'd get a choice there. I'm kind of surprised. A small group is standing around a woman on the ground. Look at the dramatic shadow. Where are you hurt? She points to a deep gash on her thigh. That looks nasty. Some scabroot should set it right. Scabroot? A plant with healing properties. It's common enough in these woods. I could use your help finding some, though. His eyes seem brimming with genuine concern now. It's reassuring to see that he does care. And I really should confer with him alone. What should I do? Go with Andrew, stay behind. We're gonna go with Andrew. Sure, anything I could do to help. Take our gems away? It said free choices in this version, so we'll see. Sure, anything I can do to help. We set off deeper into the woods. Now, look for a squat plant with red-tinted leaves. How exactly is that going to help her? If you chew up the leaves and apply it to a wound, it helps to form a scab. Hence the name. I get it now. But how do you know so much about this? It's simple folk medicine. My mother taught me. As we scour the undergrowth, my thoughts start to wander. You don't talk about your family much, Andrew. Why is that? It's never been relevant, miss. I'm here to serve, not bore you with the mundane details of my life. Nothing about the outside world is mundane to me. My apologies, miss. That was thoughtless. I'll try to be more forthcoming from now on. Is it just the heat, or is he blushing? He is blushing a little bit. Look up at the blue sky, peeking through the trees. I love it out here. It's not even a day since I left home, but I already feel different. Despite everything, I'm so much happier. I'm glad, miss. Much as I still feel for your safety, I can see this is doing you good. New blooms like you deserve to be out here in the open air. You're right, and I've never felt so free in all my life. We exchange a warm smile. Just keep your wits about you. That's all I ask. Wait a minute, a squat plant with red-tinted leaves. I think I found one, Andrew. Without thinking, I pull the plant up by the roots. To my dismay, it shrivels in my hand and dies. Of course, how could I forget? Can't even touch plants without killing them. I look up to find him regarding me sorrowfully. I'm sorry, miss. But not to worry, there's plenty more. He plucks another plant from the soil and holds it up. I know, it's just... I know, miss. For a moment there you were truly free. But that's why we're on this grand adventure, after all. One way or another, we're going to heal you too. Do you really believe that? He nods resolutely. One day you'll be free of this affliction, and on that day, the whole world will be yours. I'd trade it all for a moment's human contact, even just a second. I only wish that was in my power to grant. He stares at me for a second, then looks away hurriedly. I mean, we better take this back. As we retrace our steps, he remains strangely quiet. There's no questioning his sense of duty. But what was that all I detected just now? After preparing the poultice, he applies it carefully to the wound. We're soon on our way again, together with our new companions. After a while, someone strikes up an old folk song. Soon the rest join in, except for me and the prince. When they reach the chorus, Andrew glances over at me. Why don't you sing, Shorty? What should I say? I don't know the words or I'm too embarrassed. I'd say I don't know the words because I don't. I'd dearly love to, but I don't know the words. As you know, we're not the most jovial household. He presses his lips together and then brightens with a smile. Well, I could teach it to you. There was no shortage of cheer around our hearth. Thank you, Andrew, I'd like that. They're just coming up to the chorus again. He strikes up with the rest of the group. Soon I know enough to join in. He has such a nice voice. The merry band continues into the next town, still singing. But as we round a corner, the voices suddenly fall silent. A man stands in front of us brandishing a crossbow. Most of the group clutch their fellows in fear. Well, what do you think, lads? Dead or alive? This feels like a chapter end, which is good because we're going on 40 minutes. I really hope this does not need to be resynced. I'm really enjoying this game so far, though. Like, I'm curious to know the mystery. I like the characters. So, what did you think in the comments? What did you think of the guys? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!